Hi everyone, I'm Niina, or in Ravelry I'm ninima, that's Ninima. And I already already recorded this once on my video camera, but for some reason I just wasn't able to download, upload, whatever, the video from my video camera to my uh, laptop, so I'm gonna have to try to do it again. Uh, so, so I found these knitting podcasts at the beginning of this summer, and I've been watching them ever since, quite a bit, while I knit, and it's great fun. So I thought that I'd give it a go myself and see what happens. I was hoping to podcast outside or record these podcasts outside, but at the moment it's been raining for a couple of days, and according to the video or the weather forecasts, it will continue to rain on and off for quite some time, several days. So I'm just going to have to live with it and do this. This is my kitchen. I'm not going to show it to you. We're a family of four, and our apartment is too small for us, and it's cluttered, and I really don't like it. Well, I'll make do with this at the moment. So, as for podcasts, yes, I found them at the beginning of summer. This May, I started yet another blog, this time about knitting. It's called NiinaNknitting, so that's NiinaNknitting.blogspot.fi. And I started that one because I was determined, or I had decided to attend Tour de Soc, and I just figured that it would be a good way to report the different socks for the tour, and I was doing that in English, so I figured I'd continue in the same language, but it's not my native language, so you'll just have to bear with me. I'm in my 40s. I live in Jyväskylä in central Finland with my husband and our two children and a dog. And as I said, we live in an apartment, and it's not a big one. So if it's possible, I do try to go outside to record. We'll see how that goes with the tablet I'm using at the moment, because the video camera obviously is not going to work. It was recording fine, but I just can't upload or download. Anyway, can't get the video from the camera to my computer. That's a shame, because it's a lot better, even though it's an old camera. I bought it 10 years ago, but it reacts to movement a lot better than this tablet. But this is how it is now. So Tour de Soc, that's why I started the blog, and that's where I thought I'd begin showing what I've done this year. I started to knit, or I learned to knit at school, I think. Or, well, my mom has always also knit, so maybe she taught me one or the other. But anyway, I've been knitting on and off for since I was 10 or something. There's been long periods of time when I didn't knit at all. And this time I've been more into it, more active in it for, say, 2 years maybe. I'd started with a couple of baby socks and hoodies, and then I made my first pair of Reaverses. I think it's Reaverses because the designer's name is Rea Järvenpää. and I made them for my son, and I posted a picture on Facebook, and I started getting these requests from friends if I could make them a pair. And I'm not good at saying no. Besides, it's a fun pattern to make, so I was happy to do it, and I ended up making quite a few pairs last year. And at the beginning of this year, I thought I'd try to do also other things and not just reverses. And that's one of the reasons why I entered Duodo Sock. The other reason, of course, is that the registration fee for Duodo Sock is $7.50. So it's not expensive, and it's for a good cause. It's for Doctors Without Borders. And for that money, you get 6 different sock patterns. So I think it's a really good deal. And because it's a competition, it's a speed knitting competition. That's not why I do it, because I'm not a fast knitter. But they have these different patterns. They have new things in them, and I thought that I'd learn new things when I started, or when I tried to make the patterns or make the socks of the patterns. And yeah, so I'm gonna start with the socks of Duodo Sock. So we're the first 3 stages are all gone. We're in the middle of stage 4 of the tour, and my socks are in progress. I'll show them to you a little later, but I'm gonna show you the ones I have finished, so the 3 first pairs. For the first pattern, it was a pattern called Twists and Turns. Sorry, I have the pattern here. It's by Adrian Fong, and it's a lace pattern. And I'm not much of a lace person. I'm a really tight knitter, but my yarn overs get to be these big holes, and I don't like it. And I mean big compared to the other part of the knitting. But it was a pretty pattern. There's nothing wrong with the pattern. It's just my technique, I think. I haven't been able to learn to do the holes or make the holes smaller. Anyway, I was using this socks, yeah, CoopKnits socks, yeah, light fingering weight yarn. It's 75% super fine superwash merino wool and 25% nylon, and it's in colorway Cryso. And this is my first sock, or one of them. Don't remember if this was the first one or the second one. So it has this zigzag lace pattern. I can't do this. And then you get twisted knitting stitches. It's really nice, and I do think it looks nice in my foot, although it is a bit too big and it's a bit too loose. The pattern gives way pretty much, or the lace part. I made this in medium size. I did swatch for it, but apparently medium is too big for my 38 European 38 foot. So, but this is a nice, it's pretty, and I think I'm gonna give them to somebody who has a bit bigger foot than I do. There's nothing really nothing new to me, really. I've done lace before. The heel part is something I've done before. The only new thing is this small lace part in the gusset. And if you just read the pattern and did what it said you to do, it was fine. But for a while it was a bit difficult to read. Anyway, it's just that I wasn't used to doing socks like this. So these were my stage 1 twists and turns socks from CoopKnits socks, yeah. And the second stage was on June 11th. I was in the countryside at my mother-in-law's, and I had luckily bring 2 yarns with me. One that was just plain Osterman step something, and I haven't used it yet. But luckily I already did take this Hedgehog Fibres skinny singles yarn also, because the pattern was gorgeous. It's called, I remembered it again, by Hedgehog, and I used this burgundy color Hedgehog Fibres skinny singles for it. Don't think the camera shows the right. It's darker. The real color is darker. Well, anyway, well, be as it may. So this is 100% merino wool skinny singles, and Hedgehog, I guess is a cables expert. So this is a cable pattern. Start fidgeting, stop fidgeting. Okay, so there's this pretty complex cable part at the front. So in the front of the leg and the foot, and then there's this sort of net or web like pattern made of pearl stitches on knits, and that's a similar thing that's going on at the back of the leg also. And the new thing for me was the heel, because I've done cables, maybe not this complicated ones, but I've done cables before. But the new thing for me was this heel. It's called Flegel heel, and you don't make a separate heel flap. You just make increases when you go down the leg, because it's cuffed down, and then when you've made enough increases and you get to the sole part, you just turn the heel. And that was different. I knit this on DPNs, and the designer uses circulars. I've never used them before when I'm making socks, so I guess it might be a better solution than the DPNs, because this part was pretty tricky when you're using DPNs, or I found it a bit tricky, but you know. But I made in size medium. Why? I didn't learn anything from stage 1, I think. So this is size medium. My foot is a 38, and this sock or these socks are way too big and way too loose for me. But since I like or love the pattern and I really love the yarn, I will reknit them in size small, and I will use smaller needles also, and I will try the circulars, because after I finished with these, before I was starting stage 3, I took on another pair of socks and I made them 2 at a time on circulars, and it was fine. It wasn't that difficult. I had just never done it, and so I didn't want to try it on these socks. Anyway, so that was stage 2. Pretty fun. And then it was June 21st, stage number 3, and oh boy. The pattern was called Diamondback socks, and it was a pattern where you were said that they said that it would be good if you could knit forwards and backwards, and you were making short rows. I have made short rows before. I've made cat's sweet tomato heel. I think you use short rows in that, but I've never done anything like this before. And one of the things I had never done before was a shadow wrap, but that was a new technique, and it wasn't impossible at all, but I had to pay attention. And then there were these terrible acronyms of PKLLT whatever O. I don't even remember. But once you learned what you do when you stumble across this acronym, then it was fine. But the sock itself really didn't turn out pretty. I was using Fabel Drops Fabel print self-striping yarn, so you can see the stripes here on the sole, and because that was the closest thing that was good for this pattern, but it's not pretty. But it's me, it's not the pattern. So you make these diamonds using short rows, so you go back and forth, increasing and then decreasing, and then you move on to the next part, or which may be the ribbing, or an interrupted diamond or whatever. And this was very difficult for me. I have holes in these socks, and this is not a lace pattern, so no, I can't say that I'm happy with the result, how I managed to do it. But yes, I am happy that I did do it and try, because it was something new, something I had never done before, and I'm sure that next time I'll be better. I won't be doing this pattern again. I don't think so. But yeah, in this pattern also you don't make a separate heel flap. Maybe this is Flegel heel too, I don't know. So you make increases and then you turn the heel. But it's not the heel that was the difficult part, it was the diamonds. I couldn't get my brain or my head around it, so sorry. But some of the projects that I've seen, people who posted their pictures in the finished socks thread on the Tour de Sock forum, they were really nice. They were really pretty, and I mean really well made, unlike mine. So that's my 3 finished Tour de Sock socks. And the fourth one is in progress. I'll show it to you in a while, because I have a couple of things I did finish while or in between stages. So the first one that I did finished after I'd done the first two socks. I had a friend who asked me if I could make, I think it was her mother's boyfriend, a pair of socks with a bit taller or longer leg than usual. And I'd had this one pattern that I'd been wanting to make, but I hadn't had time or the right occasion for it, maybe. So I asked her if I could make these socks with the pattern called Merenkulkija, Seafarer. It's by Tiina. And if I manage to get this video on YouTube, I'll try to find a way to get all the links to the patterns and whatever I mentioned during this podcast. I'll find a way to get a list to you. Anyway, so Seafarer, it's a cuff down sock, but this one is longer than standard, let's say, longer than in the pattern. So usually you'd have just a maybe this much cuff or leg. I've used Novita Seitsemän Veljestä, so that's 7 brothers in English. It's a very common yarn here in Finland. You can find it in all supermarkets and so forth. It's not expensive at all. So I've used this. Oh, it looks so blue here. Really isn't blue. It's purple. And I took some photos outdoors for my project page, and it looked blue there outside in natural light, like it does now because I'm sitting in front of the window, but it actually is purple, but it doesn't look purple now. Anyway, this is a really nice pattern. Seitsemän Veljestä is an Aran weight yarn, so it's pretty fast to knit, and these cables are nice. They make it interesting to knit these socks, even though the leg is a bit longer. And the cabling is here at the side of the leg and at the side of the foot, and the other side is just plain stockinette stitch. So, and the other one is a mirror image. So these are something I finished after the first pair of Turvasock socks. And then after the second pair, I had found this scarf that I know I started a bit more than 3 years ago. I was going to wear it for our daughter's christening party, but for some reason I just didn't finish it. It's a lace pattern, and like I said, I'm not a lace person, but for some reason I did choose a lace pattern anyway. It's pretty, yeah, it's pretty, but it's not my favorite thing to knit. This lace part, I mean. I don't know what this yarn is. I don't remember, because like I said, I didn't finish it before the christening of our daughter, and then I just forgot about it. And this summer I was going through my closets and I found this. I was like, oh man, I have a scarf almost finished. And now I have finished it, and now I've blocked it, and it looks fine. we have this family party coming up in September. Maybe I'll wear it there, like this, around my shoulders. I don't know. Or just, you know, around my neck when I go someplace. It's a pretty pattern. I have the pattern here. It was a free pattern on teetee yarn store's website. I bought this yarn from teetee, and it's a lovely store. They have all these gorgeous yarns. But I'm not sure if they still have this pattern on their website, or I'll have to check, and then I'll link it to you if I find it. So this is another finished object, finished one during the tour. But then, works of progress. My stage 4 socks. Stage 4 is a pattern called A Song of Beads and Lace by Sarah Bordelon. No, Bordelon. Yeah, I think Sarah Bess in Ravelry, and this is a lace and beads pattern. But I love it. The pattern is really beautiful. Yeah, I like the beads. It's really, I've done maybe 2 socks with beads before, and I think it's great fun, and they are pretty, and so are these. Besides, the yarn I have for this is also really nice. So this yarn is Handu Cashmere Sockis, whatever it's called in English. I think they have the names in English too. I'll have to check it. And so this is 80% merino wool, 10% cashmere, and 10% polyamide. Polyamide, however you pronounce it. So Handu. I have the tag here. Oh crap. Yeah. And this pattern, so I have these really small beads. They're size 8 beads. I bought them from eBay, so it's not something fancy. Anyway, I think they're nice. They are pink, and then they have these shades of something else, like shades of yellow, maybe a shade of blue. They're really nice. The beads, I like the beads in themselves, and the yarn, you can see in the sole, it's this semi solid semi-solid pink, and the Finnish name is totinen vaaleanpunainen, so I think it's Earnest pink. I can check that too, maybe. As for the sock pattern, yes, there's laces and beads, and even the heel flap has these different patterns. It's really nice. It's beautiful. This is my first sock. This is the 5th of June, so it's been going for 5 days. This stage has been going for 5 days. And like I said, I'm not a fast knitter, but I will finish this first sock today because I'm closing in on the toes. And then I'll be casting on the second sock. I'm using my 3.0 millimeter bamboo DPNs when I'm doing these. And this is, did I mention this is size small? I have tried this on, and yes, it fits. So yay! I learned something during the first 3 stages. Yeah, the third pair is also in size small, but otherwise it's not a nice pair. Just because of me, it's not because of the pattern. And there it goes in the pretty project bag. No, I don't have any. Anyway, so that's one work in progress. Then another one is a test knit. I'm test knitting a shawl for somebody. I don't know if I can give you any specific information. The working name is Summer Night, and I'm using these Hedgehog Fibres sock yarn, 2 different colorways. So this is, I'm sure you know. Anyway, this is a 90% superwash merino, 10% nylon. And I have these 2 different colorways. So this one is called Rusty Nail, and I guess it shows pretty well in the on the camera. I think it's pretty close to what it really is. So it's a sort of a brownish, it's brownish red or whatever it's called. And then this other colorway is called Monarch, and it also has these small speckles, small parts where it really is the same color as this Rusty Nail. So that's why I chose this pair. This is this will be a triangular, is it triangular? Triangle shawl. And there are these stripy parts, and then there are these beautiful lace stripes or whatever, and they are really nice. There will be 2 more of these lace stripes, so it will be a sizable shawl, I'm sure. It's really nice. I like it. It's getting bigger, so that's why its progress is getting slower. But I'm in no hurry to finish. And then the third work in progress, well, is somehow in status quo, maybe. So this is a pair of reverses, but as you can see, I'm not very far along. I've done the socks and these lace bands or whatever these are called, and now they're waiting for the sole part and the laces and the whatnot. I'm making these for a special someone, and I'll be giving them to this person later on this year, but I have time. I have a lot of time, so I'll finish them when I have time. And when I have finished these, this is my pair number 25. When I have finished this, I will try to remember to show you the finished pair number 25 and the first one that I made for my son, because we still have them somewhere in the house. I think they're in his closet, so we can compare. So anyway, this is Rea versus, and I'll link the pattern to you. I have these plastic mannequin feet in them. I bought them on eBay. Okay, that's anything I've finished this summer, and the projects I have in progress or that I'm working on at the moment. But then I have some stash acquisitions. The Hedgehog Fibres sock yarns that I'm using for the scarf are, of course, those, but I already showed you them. But then the couple of others I have a story. When I had finished my first pair of tour de sock, so the first stage, I was feeling pretty good about myself, and I was thinking, yes, I do have to reward myself for finishing. That's natural, isn't it? So how do you reward yourself for finishing a pair of socks? Well, buying another skein of yarn, of course. And there are these sponsors for Tour de Sock, yarn sponsors, and they have discount codes for anybody who's entering the competition. And I just figured that, yeah, I could try new yarns. I could order new yarns and use the discount codes. Some of the codes were only valid in May, but the ones that were still valid in June and also in July, I was thinking that, yeah, I can use them. But I was just going through the list of sponsors, and then I just randomly picked this Cauldron's Path yarns, like this, and I'll link that Etsy shop to you also. And I bought a skein from them. It's really pretty. See? Oh, it's more pale. It looks paler on camera than it really is. So this is Waxing Moon base. It's 80% superwash merino and 20% nylon. And this colorway is called Spring Green. And it really is. It really looks like the leaves on trees when they first appear after winter. Oh, it's a shame that it looks so pale. But it's just the sunlight, or well, not sunlight, but anyway, the natural light coming from the window that makes it paler than it really is. So this yarn is is really, I think it feels soft, and the color is just